Make no mistake, I am super critical on this channel, particularly about two entities. Number one, IndyCar, and number two, Fox Sports. Has been for a very long time. But I think in the effort of fairness, when you are critical, you must also point out with just as much passion when something is done correctly. And Fox Sports put out an ad for their IndyCar coverage, which is absolutely perfect. Fantastic marketing, exactly what IndyCar has needed for a very long time. In fact, I think good marketing doesn't just reach out to people who are not watching or consuming a certain product. I think an ad that is particularly good also reinforces those who have already been reached out to or are already consuming the product. And the way I knew that this was a good ad was that when I saw it, it made my heart grow 3 sizes that day. And that's difficult to do in this kind of, almost like a spin cycle of constant negativity around IndyCar. This was something that genuinely reinforced that I like this. That sounds like a very low bar to clear, but I think it's crucial sometimes for a marketing effort to literally just reinforce, yeah, you like this. This is cool. We see this as being as cool as you think that it is. And let's kind of set the background here. This ad focuses on Indianapolis 500 winner Joseph Newgarden. It features a whole lot of over-the-top goofball stuff that we come to expect from Fox. But I think it all works. This is not a Daytona Day Part 2. And speaking of that, the NASCAR fans are very upset that there's not a single NASCAR ad out right now from Fox. And to that, I would say you shouldn't have taken away the Coke 600 from them, and you shouldn't have gotten rid of practice. That was a big mistake. But yeah, let's look at this ad, because I think I should just run it through, and then we'll kind of break it down and talk about it. Because, I mean, this is just, you want to talk about a great start for Fox. I think having all the races on network, amazing start. Working with the NFL, while I don't think that's as big of a thing as it maybe would have been 10 years ago, still big, still important. This ad, huge. Now, the one caveat I will say before I run this ad, and I should say this up front, is that I think that this is all well and good, and I love that this ad specifically promotes St. Pete and not the Indy 500. But I want to see this level of energy from Fox in year 2, in year 3, in year 4. Because let's be honest here, IndyCar still has to survive to that new car. IndyCar still has to be relevant in 2027 when that new car comes, because that is a long, long time away. And that, to me, is the single most important thing in IndyCar in the near future. And it's really not that near of a future. So this is great. Keep it up. Let's watch it.
This is Joseph Newgarden. Joseph was conceived to win races. Stopped drinking milk at 2, picked it back up at 32. Good for strong bones. Tell that to his clavicle. Joseph's like an action hero who wins even when he loses. This is his wife, his Tuesdays, his hand-eye coordination. He might have the greatest jawline in sports.
He's not that handsome.
He even wrote a children's book about winning. America loved it. Joseph loves the smell of unleaded gasoline. He hates imperfection. He doesn't believe in magic, but on Sundays, Joseph flies. This is Joseph Newgarden. Welcome to the fastest racing on earth.
Okay, I mean, it's great. I mean, it's great. It is great. I love this shot. Really high production value. Just kind of feels big. It feels big. Maybe that's, and ironically, that's also what Joseph's book is called. But this sort of production value just makes you go, oh yeah, these guys are cool.
This is Joseph Newgarden.
Boom. Instantly introduce him. And yes, we'll talk about this in here in just a second. Introduce Joseph Newgarden. That's Joseph Newgarden. Amazing establishing shot. Here he is. And we cut to a sperm cell.
Was conceived to win races.
And I think this is probably the thing that people are either going to like or hate. And to me, like this is right here, perfect marketing for Gen Z slash kind of the late millennials. This is the kind of stuff, and I am part of that kind of generation. This is the kind of stuff that we find funny. A sperm cell going faster than all the other ones. What a great way and a funny way to establish that Joseph Newgarden has been fast even before he was conceived.
Stop drinking milk.
And this is great. I don't know where they got this footage. I don't think it's Joseph, but it's hilarious. Again, you're talking about milk. That's something that people associate with the Indianapolis 500, even casuals. So great.
Picked it back up at 32.
And there you go. There's
Strong
Joseph.
bones.
This, again, showing a lot of different aspects to Joseph being kind of superhuman. This was probably the thing that got him hired at Penske, was the fact that he had this huge crash at Texas, came back, I think, a race later and got a top 10 with Ed Carpenter Racing at one of the toughest tracks, Road America. What this also does is really show it's kind of that Paul Page Delta Force kind of strategy, which is you show the drivers as the heroes, but show that the drivers, while we think of them as immortal, they are very much mortal. They're very much doing something that can hurt them. And I think this sort of thing, you're not glorifying a crash here. You're showing the consequences of driving the fastest race cars on earth.
Tell that to his.
That's great to show the actual damage. And again, hopefully that's something that maybe Fox can hone in on in a pre-race. He raced like this. He raced with this injury. So again, that's with all those crews and all of that, awesome.
Joseph's like an action hero who wins even when he loses.
He wins even when he loses. I mean, again, this is very Fox Sports, but it's goofy, but it's the right kind of goofy. It hits because you can go over the top. Again, Daytona Day is over the top goofiness. You can hit the target though, and I think this hits the target.
This is his wife.
Yeah, we show the wife. We're like, wife. Yes, cool. She's a Disney princess.
It's Tuesdays.
Tuesday. That's funny too, because you'd be surprised when you're traveling to races how often you're on a plane on a Tuesday. This is great too. I love this shot. Again, this is a very Fox Sports shot.
Hand-eye coordination. He might.
But that's like perfect. Like this. Perfect.
He might have the greatest jawline in sports.
He's not that handsome.
Okay. So this is where Fox kind of establishes, I think, a tone for how they're going to promote IndyCar and the Indy 500 in the future, and I think that's good. We got Tom Brady here. I mean, there's not a bigger sports star than Tom Brady. I mean, he is right up there with the greatest. And this pains me to say because I grew up a Peyton Manning Colts fan, but I'm going to say it because I believe it. There is a certain level of star that Tom Brady is, and the fact that they got him in this ad, the fact that he's already established as being involved, great. Now, there is a rumor. It's not my rumor, so I won't break it, but I'll tell you should probably listen to the Tony D podcast, which just came out. I would expect that Tom Brady's going to be involved in a much bigger way going forward. I'll say this. Tom Brady was a co-owner, or at least a sponsor, of the Jota effort at Le Mans and in the World Endurance Championship. So it wouldn't be outside of the realm of possibility to see him involved in such a way in the future. At the very least, I think you will definitely see Tom Brady in attendance at the Indianapolis 500 and likely a part of this. And the joke is great. You're also, the other thing too is with this comparison, you are comparing Joseph Newgarden to Tom Brady, which subconsciously, for someone who doesn't know IndyCar very well, or maybe doesn't know it at all, they go, okay, Joseph is Tom Brady for IndyCar. And I hate stick and ball comparisons, but I think that particular, when you're saying this is a person who is greatness, right? You say this is the Michael Jordan of IndyCar. This is the Tom Brady of IndyCar. That does resonate with people. This is the Tiger Woods of IndyCar. Joseph Newgarden in this ad is established as the Tom Brady of IndyCar. Boom. Perfect.
He even wrote a children's book about winning. America loved it.
Okay. This is the part that put the ad over the top for me. Because yes, Joseph Newgarden, all-American boy. It's very easy to market him as the good guy. Yes, everybody loves him. He's the guy who wrote a children's book and reads it to kids, and everybody loved it. And shout out to Red Racer Books, by the way, for getting in the ad. Good for them. Then you go from Joseph, which you've already established Joseph in a great way in this ad. But then you tease what the next ad is going to be, by the way, focusing on Alex Palou, the IndyCar champion. They're doing an ad with him as well. And here's Alex Palou, the IndyCar champion, a driver. We talk about Joseph a lot of the times, and I go back to the very first championship that he won in 2017, and I was very, very harsh about, you've got to market him, you've got to market him, you've got to market him. Alex Palou I don't think he's been marketed a day in his life, but here we go. We get some Alex Palou personality, and it's funny. You talk about Joseph Newgarden, how he's this great guy, kids book, all this stuff, and they say, all the kids in America loved it, and then looking like God bless America, John Girard. And again, this is amazing. You got Palou putting the gloves on, just the most cartoon villain of all time, going, my kid hated it. That's so funny. That's such a great joke. And again, you're going to be interested when you see the Alex Palou version of this ad, because now you've got this like personality kernel, even if it's WWE, right? Like, do we really think that Alex's kids hated Joseph's book? Maybe they did. I don't know. We'll ask Alex next time we see him. But this is good stuff. This is stuff that just feels, again, big deal. You're making the drivers a big deal. You're making them, you're giving them personality traits, even if they aren't necessarily 100% true to life. Doesn't matter. It's an ad. You're selling people to watch this, and you're selling a rivalry here between Joseph and Palou, the two best drivers right now in this series.
Joseph loves the smell of unleaded gasoline. He hates him.
Remember that ad with Sunoco? It was like the Eau de Robert. That was very similar to that. And of course, we have Joseph cutting a hedge with his face on it. Did IndyCar memes write this ad? That feels like very much like something IndyCar memes would put up. It again, goofy, but it works.
Perfection. He doesn't believe in magic, but on Sundays, Joseph flies.
Boom. He doesn't believe in magic, but on Sundays, Joseph flies. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Tune in to watch IndyCar racing. Uh-oh. I'm going to complain about something here. Do you know what that was? That was a 2.65 liter single turbocharged V8. That was a kart engine. I don't blame Fox for doing that, but it should tell you something, technical committee. It's easier to market engines that sound amazing.
This is Joseph Newgarden. Welcome to the fastest racing on Earth.
Fastest racing on Earth. Love it. Love it. This is, you know what this feels like? This feels like Randy Bernard era marketing. And I know some people hate Randy Bernard, whatever, all good. But you cannot deny that they did a great job of reestablishing IndyCar as a legitimate mainstream sport during the Randy Bernard era. And again, this is the first time in a long time that I've seen something marketing-wise around IndyCar, which not only I think will appeal to people outside of the sport, but also reinforces to someone like me that, oh yeah, this is a big deal. Yes, you should care about it. This is important. And that to me is one of the most, and whoever wrote this ad, I mean, I just want to give him a handshake. I just want to pat him on the back and say, you know, whoever was involved in this ad, you nailed it. 100%, 1000% you nailed it. Can't wait to see more. Can't wait to see the Alex Palou ad. And I hope this continues not only through St. Pete, not only through the Indy 500, but into 26, 27, 28. Because that's where the dividends are really going to start paying off. Because the problem is, we saw it with NBC. Once a TV partner checks out, everything chugs to a halt. But this continues to be an amazing start for Fox and IndyCar. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.